Evening, all. Daniel Hand, RPG therapist with Eric, Emily, and Charlene. Yeah, forget all that shit. This is, how long has it been since we last spoke?
Hold on, I have the date. February 17th.
So 25 weeks? Good God.
Yeah, give or take.
Okay. Okay, yeah, that's just right. Apparently we're in April next week.
Yeah.
Almost. Close.
Which I'm just like, how? Just how? Yes, so this is session, I'm going to call it 1.5 because I don't remember. So I'm sure it was kind of obvious to everybody who wasn't me. I was not healthy last time. I genuinely don't remember what happened. So let's call this session 1.5 of our look at the Avatar Legends starter sets. Which we are playing Pirates of the Crimson Sails. So whilst I try and remember what the hell I'm doing, how about we go through and everybody says who they are, what they are, and also, by the way, their characters are. And we want to go first? Eric, you're next to me. You go for it.
Well, in Bin's fire gun kind of way. I'm playing Bin, Firebender, the rogue of the group. Pretty much got disenfranchised with the hoity-toity of the Fire Nation world at the end of the war, and all puns intended, went rogue and kind of started doing his own thing. So he kind of got us into the pirate village where we're hanging out.
Yep.
And last scene was fumbling through one of the pirate bars.
Oh yeah, of course it was. Yeah.
Trying to gather information, but did a far more adequate job of gathering free booze. So possibly too good a job.
Possibly. I don't know if there are rules in here for bending while you're pissed. But...
Disadvantage.
Emily.
All right, so I play Hanu. I'm what's considered the guardian. Before meeting these people, I was at the end of the war. I was in a Fire Nation prison. Eventually got out, joined a bunch of pirates, made friends with said pirates, and somehow got tasked to take care of one of the pirates' sons who just likes to go around. That's how I met these fine people, or I should point this way, right? These fine people. And, Hanu's a pretty quiet person, except when she does talk, it's like a pretty straightforward, maybe sometimes socially awkward thing that is said. might have the potential to get us in trouble at some point, not intentionally, but that's her. And she's a waterbender as well. I don't know if I mentioned that before. So that's Hanu. She's scared of your lizard mongoose.
Oh, yeah,
getting drunk again. Very scared.
So I am Heezing. I am the icon. My family were law keepers. Were the would keep everybody in line, but their city got smashed or whatever. So he's out running around trying to be a good person and hold the law. He's an earthbender, and he has a, what is it called? A mongoose-lizard. I don't remember what its name was. Do we remember what its name? Bilbo?
Bilbo.
Balbo.
It should be on the back of your sheet.
It's Balbo. Yes, it's Balbo.
I remember your mongoose lizard was also getting right pissed.
Yes.
Oh, God, help us. Jesus.
Well, we made it to the pirate island. I went to the bar and started asking questions of the tavern keeper, of course, because how much D&D do I play? And my mongoose lizard got some drinks. That's all.
Oh, yes. And I remember Hanu being a bit, oh, my God, do you remember what happened last time? That was...
We don't need to talk about it, Daniel.
Hey, I don't remember what happened last time. We've already had this conversation.
It's a shame there's not like a record or a recording of it, or you know, it's...
That way you could go back and listen to it. No, but we were talking about the different pirate lords, right?
Mm-hmm.
There's like a fancy one. There was the scrappy ones.
Yeah, you got there's
yeah. We've got the Howler, the burning, the big boats, or the big groups were the Howler, the Burning Wave, the Renegade Phoenix, and the Dancing Nobleman fleet.
Yeah, and what was I going to say? I was going to say something deep and meaningful. Yeah, so yes, so as I recall, we got you to the islands, you got drinking, you got introduced to some of said, well, the various groupings. Anybody else want to fill me in on what else happened? Because my big memory of last time, and I haven't been brave enough to go back and watch the episode, was of me doing this.
Yeah.
So if anything else happened, do feel free to let me know at this stage.
Yeah. So we did, like, when we were at the bar, I think it was through Charlene's conversation with the tavern owner, or I should say He Jing's conversation with the tavern owner, that there, you know, Captain Kingano used to be like head honcho of Pirate Island, but then was ousted after failing to get the money from Zuko. So then Captain, I think Ninka was how we pronounced
Ninka,
it,
yeah,
is the new head honcho, and they are a lot more aggressive, maybe a bit more cutthroat. And we think that, at least it was rumored that is it a boy, girl, they, them? Who's Captain Ninka?
Yeah,
what are their preferred pronouns, so we don't mess that up?
Oh, which one? There are so many different
Captain
ones.
Ninka. I can't remember.
She, her.
She, her. Okay, great. We love Queen. We love it.
Yes.
She's a bit more aggressive, and it's rumored that she was part of like a Fire Nation asylum, and yeah, so that's where we were at with the leadership, at least.
Yeah,
And
we
that
were
she
trying
was
to decide who to talk to next. Just kind of where we were at.
Cool.
And I think it was established that like she definitely knows we're here.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah, yeah, and we're we're after this treasure that somebody was supposed to go to a king, but the pirates stole it, and we're trying to find it and recover it.
Essentially, reparations from the Fire Nation to the Earth Kingdom, which, if they don't somehow get recovered and to the fire to the Earth Kingdom, it could reignite tensions that last to the not harmonic convergence, but it had the word harmony in it. That was in one of the comics about
the Harmony Restoration movement.
Harmony Restoration.
Yep.
Yeah, I remember these things. I know what I'm talking.
See, but between everyone's like spotty note taking and memories, like
my notes are gone. I don't.
The last little bullet I have is so ... Which captain do we go to first?
Yep.
And that's it.
Oh wait, I may have found them.
So I think that's where we left off.
Yep, I found them. Yay!
I think we left off with me drinking with Hijing and his mongoose-lizard drinking, and Hanu sitting in the middle just going,
Why? What am I doing here? Oh my god.
You know what?
Life choices.
Get me a drink
Life choices.
anyway.
So, I think so. Powered by the Apocalypse games are a bit more, well, narrative focused, yes, but also player led. And I'm wondering if, because one thing I did think of after we last spoke, or we last did this 5 long weeks ago, was if I should potentially be giving control over to you guys a bit more about what does the place look like, what do you see going on, and then I just drop in little bits and pieces as we go along, because I do I didn't enjoy last time, but it's like and I am very conscious of that. So so you are in the bar, you've got lots of pirates going on around. So instead of me saying what's going on, why don't you describe the scene to me? Anybody who wants to volunteer? Oh, go on, Charlene. You're laughing already. Just do it. Just do it.
The image is exploding out of her head.
Yeah. I just want to know whether my lizard's with me, my mongoose lizard is with me inside of the bar.
I don't think I get the feeling it's never going to be away from you. I think even if you left it outside, it would still come in.
So I think I'm just like, I came in the door with my mongoose lizard, like either that or riding the mongoose lizard. That is also a little drunk.
Doing that thing that we all do in computer RPGs where you go and meet the king, and instead of going through the long process of getting dressed up, you just ride your horse into the throne room.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So I imagine that people are like kind of like splitting, like running almost off to the sides as I'm making my way to the bar.
You're going to the bar for more?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Gotta talk to them too.
Eric,
Is this the same establishment, or are we?
Yeah, I think we were coming to you to find
Yeah,
you.
Okay.
Yeah, we were getting you, man.
yeah, because
Pulling you in.
So Ben, what's Ben up to? He sees this thing enter the this vision from somebody's nightmare.
I'm imagining like the mongoose lizard not coming in, but coming in, like kind of staggering a little bit, like taking some wide steps. And like I could definitely see some people running, and a few people were like, "What the hell is this?" The bartender screaming, "We don't serve their kind here."
Oh no.
I'm sorry, just had to do a Star Wars Cantina reference.
Yeah, Star Wars Cantina, obviously. Yeah.
And just and like everyone else, I'm just kind of completely blending in, like, like, who rides a mongoose lizard here? That's ridiculous. As everyone else is like up in arms, I'm like definitely dropping back, like, yeah, like getting a new, like an old, like taking my old tankard, filling up with someone else's, like,
Oh,
like,
and
yes, that's horrible.
And since I'm looking for you, I am looking for you. So I'm, Ben, where are you?
I don't know if I've ever empathized so hard with the character, but Anu, I'm just sitting there going, girl, just get out. Just find yourself a new group of mates. Seriously, just
Run.
Anu knows that with a mongoose lizard, they don't move straight like a horse. Already, when they're sober, they don't do that. They have to, their tail kind of goes like this back and forth. So I know you got to be at least 10, 20 feet behind. Like, we're not part of the carnage here. And so, Hijing and Balbo go in, and I just imagine going in, just like already mad, like not even mad, just like tired. Like, I don't know how else to. And like,
I'm not angry. I'm just
and I'm just there like he's right. Like, very obviously been look for the guy. Like, come on. It's right,
Yeah.
right there. I mean, among pirates though, there might be several unshirted people. Who knows? But yeah, I would just imagine kind of just walking in slowly afterwards. He's like, he's right there.
and of course, the second bids point out. I imagine him being like mid pour, like.
So nice.
He hides under a table.
Yeah, I'm definitely looking up, and I'm definitely like catching Hanu's like total mom face, like, get over here now. Like, you see this, like, Ben just like sets down his tankard and just like walks over, like, hey guys. How we finding things out without, like, hey, look, the lizard.
how is the barkeeper, tavern keeper, whatever you want to call him? How is he reacting to all this? He, she, they.
He's got this look on his face as like he's seen this all before. He's seen some shit, and oddly enough, this doesn't even rank in the top 10.
He is a pirate bartender, so like.
Yeah, he's got that weird. Oh, for God's sake, I just cleaned up the blood from yesterday.
I feel like Hanu would just look at like eye contact and be like
yeah, and he, yeah, just and then we'll give you a free drink just for being so understanding.
and not Bin, this is me. I'm just all of a sudden imagining the logistics of trying to get something mongoose lizard size, getting it into the bar is one thing. Getting it turned around and out of the bar.
It'd be amazing.
Like, I don't imagine the mongoose lizard has reverse. That's just all I'm saying.
reverse. And I just like take one of its like little prongs and be like, okay, reverse.
Side note: does anybody want an ice cream? Because apparently the ice cream truck's here.
Is that what the
here I thought you were just GMing like the sounds in. I'm like, there's an ice cream truck on Pirate Island? That's crazy.
Which means that I am going to have this thing at exactly the same time every day for the next X months whilst I'm talking to clients. I'm so then how does that make you feel? Oh my
ice
God,
cream.
Dude, every day.
So I definitely here's the ice cream truck outside, ice cream man, whatever it is, and just the mongoose lizard turns around and whips around and heads back out.
Like the Skippets in the 90s.
Like,
remember?
yeah, just like so
I'm expecting to go outside and see like the cabbage man's like nephew pushing a cart.
Yes, like that.
Was it Terry Pratchett? There was somebody in a series of novels. It must have been Terry Pratchett, the Broken Drum, maybe. Basically, a bar that got trashed every single day and had to be essentially rebuilt from the ground up the next morning. Or the bar from the Blues Brothers, you know, where they go to that cowboy bar and everything, just throwing glasses, full on glasses of drink at the chicken wire.
Hey, any bar that has both kinds of music is a good bar.
Yeah.
Country and Western.
Move them on, head them up.
Just dated ourselves, by the way, Daniel. Just dated
I'm not old. I just put the whole thing about the wife just chasing him. It's like, who is just this random woman turning up and trying to kill them and then just disappearing again? And John Candy going, "Hi, we're in a truck." Yeah. Just.
But yeah, no, he's in. Here's the ice cream. It's gone.
No.
Hanu stays behind. Hanu just pulls up a bar stool. Done. We're here.
Yeah, I think Hanu's officially disassociated herself from both Bin and Hishing.
He's used to it, but it's also just like, it's been a day, guys. Come on, like,
we literally only just got off the boat. Come on,
guys. We've been here for like a half hour. Come on, like. I also imagine Bin coming over to Hanu, like trying to sit down and definitely missing the stool the first time. like sitting down and like just like off like 1/3 on, 2/3 off, and be like, whoa, hey,
get it together, Bin. Get it together.
And like quick recover. It was like nothing to see here. How's it going? hey, and definitely, you know.
It's my own fault. I brought up the Blues Brothers, but suddenly I feel so old.
It's a good movie.
No, I'm just like the whole getting so drunk you can't sit down on a chair. It's like the young people of today. But also I know it happened to me because I've lost all alcohol stamina. It's just like, no, this is not.
I'm old.
So whilst Hershing is outside getting ice cream from the cabbage man's nephew, what are you two talking about? With just literally tables and glasses just laying everywhere. The barman just doing that and just waving, because all of his staff know exactly what to do. They've seen this all before as well. This damage may have started a bit early in the day, but it was going to happen sooner or later. Let's face it. I mean, you've got a mongoose lizard, but you've got, I don't know, maybe a bigger avatar creature than the mongooses. They've got everything on this island. Some of them get left outside, some of them don't.
So I think we've already told Ben, this is me not speaking as Hanu, but just in general, I think we've already kind of caught Ben up on stuff, because I felt like we had found him at the prior place, but maybe I'm mistaken. Did we tell Ben already what's been going on, or has he just been beer bonging it over in this other place this entire time? If
you did, great. If you didn't, you're doing it now.
What do you guys think? Did we catch him up yet, or?
Well, and let's be honest, like I definitely foresee Ben, even if he did, rehashing it anyway, because don't know that his memory is also all too awesome right now.
I don't know what you mean. My memory is always great when I'm off my straight.
And honestly, what we said about, I think Ben's gonna just rattle back off, right? Like, hey, here are the 4 pirate groups in, evidently, this pirate king, like, she was in charge. People got pissed off. They kicked her out. New person's in. I don't know that we've gotten much more than that. Like, maybe if I was lucky, I know Ben was trying to gather information, but was again gathering liquor far more fluidly than information.
So I'm just sitting here thinking, now you guys are either the best spies in the world or the worst, because let's face it, nobody is going to suspect you right now of trying to gather information. But at the same time, have you actually gathered any information that you're going to know about tomorrow?
I did. I don't know about them, but
I want to interrogate I want to interrogate the ice cream man. I'm pretty sure he knows more than.
Okay, so do you bother getting off Balbo? This guy is just I don't know. Well, he must be a waterbender, because that's the only way you're going to get any ice to keep these things. So he's probably not the cabbage man's nephew. He's probably just an adopted cousin or something like that. But he's got his little cart. He's got these different colors. He's every now and again just doing a waterbendy wavy thingy, because I can totally martial art. Do you even bother getting off Balbo?
No. So what he sees coming at him a mongoose-lizard who is drunk and out of control and wants ice cream.
The mongoose lizard wants ice cream as well now. You're the kind of person who feeds pizza to cats, aren't you, or whatever?
Yes. So he sees this coming. I don't know what his reaction would be. That's up to you.
I think it would be kind of like, whoa, just because
he just
because again he'll have seen it all. But if I was faced with a mongoose lizard, even if they were a natural part of the world, I would not be okay for a few moments, especially one that's staggering.
But I don't know if we want to go along with that scene, or we want to go back into the bar, or whatever you want to do.
We'll do you first, because then you can go and join them and say, hey, I got ice cream. Got ice cream. Sorry.
So is he a little bit intimidated by
Oh yeah.
Okay. All right, cool.
If we're saying he's the cabbage man's long distance relative, of course he's intimidated. He's intimidated when he gets up in the morning.
So I want to ask him, what was the name of the old pirate captain again?
Kangana.
Kangana.
Kangana. Maybe that's one thing they could have done in, as a critique of the starter sets and the game in general. Maybe they could have, considering a lot of these are Far Eastern names that people aren't necessarily okay with, they could have done with some pronunciation guides.
Yeah.
It could be Kangana, it could be Kangana, it could be Kangana. It could be any number of things,
Captain Can it is.
Yeah.
Hey, Ken, how you doing?
I want to ask the ice cream guy. Would you happen to know where Captain Kangana is, or any of their crew, their old crew?
I'm not really up to doing voices on the internet just yet, but
You're fine.
But he'd just say, no, Kangana, no, she had to leave under a bit of a cloud a while ago. She tried to negotiate with the new Fire Lord. What's his name? Ziku? Whatever, the kid. And then there was this whole to-do. Ninka came along and she wanted to be a bit more punchy fighty. And no, nobody's seen Kangana or her crew for a few months now.
Oh.
There are whisperings. People say that you can get hold of her eventually, but she's certainly not around these parts. Or that I know of, anyway. And then he just carries on saying. Then he just looks at you, going, "Are you gonna buy some ice cream?"
Oh yeah. We'll
just kind of doing that thing. It's like
we'll have 5 of those. 5 of those. 5 of those.
And smile just goes like huge. Of like,
and I think while we were talking, whatever his name is, Balbo, got into the ice cream cart.
No.
So I'm gonna be like, nah, just gonna take the whole thing.
You see, no, you can't do that. You're gonna have a perfectly civil interaction. You're gonna buy it, and then you're gonna turn around. Balbo's gonna knock everything over. My ice cream. Okay, yes. Well, that's very, very generous of you. You're going to let your mongoose lizard pay for this man's livelihood.
Mm-hmm. Yes. Oh. So, do I get any I'm trying to look at my basic moves here. Do I get I want to okay, so in D&D terms, I want to, number 1, insight him to see if he knows more information than he's telling. But number 2, maybe intimidate him if I think he knows more.
How would you go about doing it then? So you tell me what you want to do, and we'll see. See what move applies. So he's told you that Kangana has just had to escape with her life, essentially. Mm-hmm. How do you react? How does Hushing? It's more a case of what the. So with Powered by the Apocalypse Games, it's more a case of I do this. Yeah. What move do we use to represent it, rather than can I do this? Okay, yes. This. Then you describe what you do and then roll, rather than roll and then describe what you do.
Okay.
Yeah. So I look at him and I'm like, do you know where they may have gone? And trying to get a little bit more information out of them.
So that would probably be assess a situation then. So
okay.
Roll with creativity.
I got a 7.
Okay, so you can ask one of the questions associated with it or something similar. So yeah, so that's actually more kind of fighty. But yeah, I would say that with that role, you'd say that he's on the level. He's giving you as much as he knows. He might have more information if you asked him, but he's not actively keeping anything from you. He just kind of assumes you know it all already.
Might you know where, maybe not Captain Kangana, but anybody on her old crew that worked together real close with her?
Oh yeah, her most of her crew's still on the Pyre Howler. They're the ones who voted her out. Ninka is captain now, but she took Kangana took a few loyal followers with her when she was exiled, but no, most of the crew's still there.
And nobody's seen Kangana here since then? No,
sorry. Did you see me there? My brain froze. I was like, I'm supposed to say something to that. No.
All right, thanks. And I'm just sitting there now licking an ice cream. We're walking back. I just leave the mongoose lizard to it and walk back into the bar.
As a side note, for a cutscene, I totally imagine the mongoose lizard looking up and kind of like shaking for a second with a brain freeze and then going back to it.
Yeah.
Sorry. That's the cutscene in my head, and then it goes back into the bar.
Yep. Done.
What are you guys doing then?
Emily, do you have something?
I do, if that's okay. But unless you have
go for it.
All right, pressing. All right. So I know that wherever we were last time, did we establish, was this the same bar still as last time?
Like we're at the bar where I've been in.
Yeah.
And
okay.
I think you went to 2 different ones, and then you staggered over to where Ben was.
Okay, you're bar hopping. Gotcha. Pub crawl on Pirate Island. Okay, so I could see myself, already, like, this barkeep and I, we have an understanding of, like, listen, like, I'm with these people. I'm trying.
I'm with them, but I'm not with them.
I did my best. We're on bar 3, man. Like, we're like, I tried. I've got my Deer Park water bottles that I've been trying to, like, get out, but nah, they're not. Water is not on their agenda right now. So I feel like there's already kind of like an unspoken rapport with this barkeep of just like, whatever. So I could see myself striking up some conversation with him, even just identifying ourselves as like, yeah, like we're new here. We've been kind of finding out some stuff like about the different pirate groups here where, again, like we're new. So we don't necessarily like fit in yet. You seem like a nice guy. Like how does one join any one of these or like get to find their place among these pirates so far? We've heard about the different captains and stuff,
so I'm just trying to think, how do I use the "you seem like a nice guy"? Because I've just got the feeling this guy will just kind of pop his hand on the table, and he hasn't got a hand. He's got he's just got your typical claw, just because he's wearing a job top. So, oh, thanks. Nobody's called me a nice guy since that one time. Okay, I don't need to talk about that just yet. Hey, if you're here, you're already a member of the Crimson Sails. If you want to join one of the ships, you go and ask permission of the captain. If you want to stay on land, I have need of barkeeps, as you can see. The place needs tidying up. Okay. And
I'm sorry for my friends. I know that's probably causing that here. Is like, again, we're new. I mean, we're still trying to figure things out. And is there any place like among those pirate groups? I mean, are there any that are like friendlier to newcomers?
Well, they're as friendly as you are to them. If you're going to, what do you want? The pirate's life is for me, but what pirate life do you want?
Really great. It's so deep, man. What pirate life do you want?
And then he just spends the next 10 minutes talking about how he intended
it's like, Jesus.
The captain of his own ship. Yeah.
Cut in, please.
if you could wake up tomorrow and anything could be anything you wanted, like how is the best? What
if you had a magic wand and you could live
A magic
your best
book,
life.
if you will.
Oh my god, that is the most therapist joke on the face of the planet.
And we're all laughing.
I apologize to anybody whose screens have just cracked because of that. But no, he would just go. Eventually, you would. Oh, yeah, we were going to play. Weren't we? So, because no, these are more kind of. If we say this is plead, I mean, I don't think I would necessarily use this generally, but being as we're kind of playing out the system, I'd just say plead. So if you roll with harmony, and we'll see how we go.
Is this from myself?
Yeah.
All right, give me 1 second. I have to look at my stats. What the heck? You said with harmony?
Yes.
Great. 0 help. Ooh, but we've got ourselves an 11.
Ooh.
In that case, in between all of his, back in my day, pirates had values and honor, and they only chopped off one leg. They let you walk the plank instead of just kicking you over the edge, that kind of thing. You would learn that essentially each of the factions has their own aesthetic, and you will fit in according to how you want to approach it. If you want to be kind of top dog, push people, be pushy and stick your nose in where it's not wanted, you go for the pyre howler, because that's that's the pirate king's or ship. If you wanted to essentially be a merchant who carries guns and says, hey, I can sell you what I've got, or I can shoot you and take what you've got, then you join the Burning Wave. They're a bit more up and coming and just basically want to move on from being pirates to being full-on merchants. If you, on the other hand, want to just get stuck in and be part of the uncivilized youth who cuts off both legs, go and join the Renegade Phoenix. I wrote down in my notes here, the Renegade Phoenix is classically piratical.
Piratical.
So if you fit the aesthetic, they're all three are
you're gonna
have
to prove yourself to whoever you go, but we're pirates at the end of the day. If you're gonna do the work and get stuck in, they'll accept you. Just don't rock the boat. Yeah, and you'll do fine.
Am I right? Okay, so there's no one that's really closed off at all to like new members or members. That sounds so fancy. Like new people,
recruits.
Okay, that's cool. How welcoming! This is such a lovely island.
Oh, I didn't say it was welcoming. As I said, you'll have to prove yourself. But
well, you've been very welcoming, so thank you. I appreciate it.
Yeah, and ooh, I'm shivering. Just seems he reaches over with his claw and just pats you on the hand, and goes,
I have a story for you guys later. I feel like Hanu just slowly looks over at Ben, like, help.
And I imagine like Ben's completely oblivious. He's totally like eyeing up the bar, looking for the next con. Like he's trying to figure out who he's gonna work with next.
God.
Okay, before we get to Ben, by the way, real fast, you said piratical. All I could think of was Michelangelo. Like like pizza in hand, like Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle, like the way you said piratical, I'm just like Michelangelo was like full bore in my mind.
Radical.
Sorry, when you said Michelangelo for a minute, I was thinking, what?
I was like, the painter?
Yeah, and then you said pizza in hands. What the heck? What are you smoking? And can I have some?
That's why I had to add turtle. I saw it in your face. I'm like, oh, wait a minute. I'm not. I mean, the GIF isn't loading for you yet. Let me.
Side note: I cannot wait for that RPG.
So I figure once Yijing and Balbo are outside, getting ice cream, and I see Handu chatting with Captain, Barkeep Hook to my one side.
Hook.
I'm assuming that there are, since there were like the mop up team from Balbo. I'm just kind of keeping an eye, like seeing who looks like they're leading the crew here. Like there are definitely people who are scrubbing. There's somebody saying, "Don't miss that spot." So I'm kind of leaning over to like more who's kind of running, and once they kind of clean up, and I'm kind of keeping an eye on where that person goes or those, and kind of like drifting over that way. For context, I'm assuming the boat that Zuko provided for us was a Fire Nation build.
No, as I recall, it was decidedly nondescript because a lot of the pirates here are very anti-Pirate Nation, given the fact that Fire Nation. So I just couldn't get the word fire out of my mouth. The Fire Nation became quite imperialist, essentially. Kept the pirates in their place for a little while, and
persona non grata. Copy.
Yeah.
I
mean, there will be people around who are more or less. God, what is my inner dictionary has just disappeared in the past half an hour. Sympathetic, that is the word I was looking for, towards the Fire Nation. But for you guys, turning up in a Fire Nation ship would have been a bad move.
All right. Because I'm going to try to find whoever was kind of looking at that whoever else seems to also be in charge about, not necessarily Barkeep Hook.
Mm-hmm.
And got to go up to them and with as sober as I could muster, given the moment. Definitely could go up and just try to string up a conversation. Like, hey, we just docked like a couple hours ago. We're checking things out. We've been seeing all kinds of different ships coming in. Like, the variety here is unreal. But we just came off the open ocean, and say we had some opportunities to collect some information, and we heard some scuttlebutt that the new Pirate King, what's her name? And just
and he looks at you as like Ninka, as if he's like, "Come on, you may be new, but surely you know that by now."
Yeah, Ninka, yeah. Her that like some stuff's going down again. Like we ran into some Fire Nation traders, and they were talking about some things. Some Fire Nation boats getting hit. So sounds like there's work around here. And, not all us Fire Nation types always like the Fire Nation. So, I love to get some work around that way. Hear anything like that? Looking for some work, kind of running low on funds on the boat here. So, and looking for assess the situation more than anything.
Okay.
Let me see, 6 on the dice, so that gives me 8 with creativity.
Ooh.
So the question is essentially, is there any work going? And
work directly related to, I'm dropping Ninka on purpose, and also noting that, like, hey, like trying to mess with the Fire Nation.
Well, here we go. Well, if you want to mess with the Fire Nation, you're in the right place. Ninka has made the whole reason Ninka is now Pirate King is because, or Chief Captain, or whatever the the actual phrase is. High Captain. Because we're so used to saying Pirate King, it's just become yeah, no, High Captain Ninka. Ever since she took over, everything's fair game. So if you have a beef with the Fire Nation, you will get it. If you want to go out and get your hands dirty, you will be welcomed. And kind of goes, there's even some stories that they've been hitting some Fire Nation ships already. So you've picked the right time to show up.
All right. So
and then he just kind of picks up a table and the legs fall off.
And as Bin's backing up, he just goes, "Hey, thanks," and grabs his drink. So it's like whoosh, grabs his drink and walks back to Hanu.
I feel so bad for Hanu. I'm sorry. I just. And anyway, sorry. Every time you do anything like that, Rick, I feel part of my soul die.
I'm just saying, you are going to come over tomorrow, and you don't get to complain. You did it to yourself.
Because with that picture, you know that's exactly what he would do, and I'm just like. Ugh.
And again, it's not just finger guns; it's fire guns.
Does the fire actually come off his fingers whilst he's doing it?
Yep.
Yeah.
That's his parlor trick. You know, he can obviously do the fire knife thing, so I figured it easily translates to fingers.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, moving on. So asking around, you find that anti-Fire Nation sentiment has certainly increased since Kangana failed to get the treaty, not the treaty, the agreement renewed. Ninka is a lot more aggressive in her approach and will happily, will enthusiastically take on the Fire Nation as much as anyone else, and that. If you're looking, and that Fire Nation ships have indeed been hit, but if you're looking for anything in particular, which I think is what I'm getting, at this stage, it could be pretty much anyone who did the hit that you're after. I think would be the. I don't get that reference. I'm sorry, Eric. But I.
Just ADHD brain.
Okay. Sorry for anybody watching. We have a little chat.
Shirley picked up on it, so I appreciate it. Someone at least can hear my brain.
It's like a chant you do when you're doing sports.
Aggressive. Be aggressive. Yeah. We have the cheerleaders in the States.
Okay, whereas over here it's swing low, sweet chariots. Yeah. So at this, that's probably the information you've got right now. One other thing you'd probably also have learned is that there is a small island in the middle of, because Crimson Sails isn't one island, it's a cluster of islands. Series. And one of them is called the Captain's Isle, and that's where all of the kind of decisions get made. You know, that's just because rather than captains go onto each other's ships, because, you know...
the neutral space.
Yeah, it's a neutral space, but at this stage, you know, that's pretty much all you've got to go on.
Okay.
Sorry, go ahead.
I was going to say something, but in the few milliseconds since I was going to start, it is now gone. So don't worry. We've got the ADHDers amongst us, and we've got the people who just don't have a memory amongst us. So,
I was gonna say, like, you see Heezing coming back in, just licking the ice cream cone. So walk towards you all.
And you hear a crash as the ice cream cart just gets knocked over.
Yeah. And I come in and I'm like, so, you know, the old captain's not here anymore, apparently. Did you all? So we keep hearing about these 3 different, you know, sections of pirates, right? Do we have anybody we want to like specifically go to first? Or I heard about this island where all of the captains go onto the island.
And as Heezing is just like middle of the bar spurting this out, Bin definitely like throws an arm over the shoulder and just starts walking him back out. Like, hey, yeah, you know, looking for jobs is a good thing. I'm like, let's not talk about this right here. You know, walking him out of.
Yeah, he definitely would not get it. He'd just be like, start talking.
Again, I imagine Heezing like has on a shirt that says undercover cop.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, it's just, and I'm like, let's go.
And Hanu just like reaches in her pocket and is like, you know what? Here's the money. I'm not even gonna count it. I'm sure it's enough. I'm so sorry. Keep the change. And I'm going with them.
There was an episode of Brooklyn Nine-Nine where Jake goes undercover and everything, but you'll be seen. Don't worry, my disguise makes me invisible. And he was, excuse me, sir, may I talk to you about the environment? Perfect. Now nobody will make eye contact with me.
And as Bin is bringing Heezing out, Hanu goes, you know what, guys, real quick, I'm gonna go to the bathroom. I'll be right out. And with that, I'm going to the bathroom. I'll be right back.
Yeah, I'm definitely like whisking Heezing out as quickly as possible as he's just like all ice cream and alcohol filled. Like, hey guys, guess what? No. Bin gets really sober really quick as he looks around and looks at all the pirates and this one guy who's like very not pirate. I'm like, I know, go.
Well, so I heard about this island. I'll try and say it a little bit.
What the hell did Zuko see in you guys? I mean, I know we established it, but Jesus.
Dude, if instead of going to each one of the other pirates, why don't we go to the island and see if there's like a meeting or if they're making a decision? I mean, is it like, you know, you could sit and watch as they make decisions? I don't know, like some sort of governmental place. You know, what should we do?
I don't know. This place doesn't give me the theater kind of vibe. I'm thinking if you just kind of arbitrarily show up on Captain's Isle, like, and you don't belong there, I'm thinking that's not going to end well. I think we can get a job with Barkeep Hook over there.
So we should probably pick one of the sections of pirates and check them out. Well,
I was chatting with someone in there, and they were saying that it definitely sounds like High Captain Nika is like taking some action on Fire Nation. So I'm thinking maybe we could try to. I mean, it kind of seems like our best bet. I don't know if they're doing the work, if they're hiring out the work. Mm-hmm. I mean, that's like. I'm assuming we're moving at a place that's not as open-aired and obvious. So I'm kind of going in and going like, I'm wondering if what we were told about what was taken is true. I can't imagine it's going to be easy to move. And I would imagine that you're going to need a lot of people to redistribute it. Mm-hmm. So,
Yeah, we're just talking about which one to check out first, basically.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, just kind of like strolling down the street, like the road at this point. Yeah, because I'm thinking that, you know, if as much is involved as we were told, that it's going to take a lot to move, and a lot of people weren't going to ask questions. So
thoughtful for being so drunk. I love it when you get emotional like this, Ben.
Hey, there's a lot of money involved in this, and I don't care how drunk you get. That's important.
Okay.
The amount of money involved makes me emotional.
And, you know, when money gets stolen, you don't know how much got stolen, so you can return a whole lot, and sometimes, you know, some goes missing.
Spoilage.
Mm-hmm. So we're headed to the Pyre Howler.
Well, I think we're heading back to the boat, because I don't think we're going anywhere without the boat. Because I'm assuming everything was like on the way in, like things were like docked out and like anchored.
No, yeah, okay. We have to take a boat to get to the Pyre Howler.
Well, we've got our own boat.
Yeah, I mean, this is essentially, if you think of it like kind of like Venice, you know, you've got lots of different islands, you've got lots of boats, you've just got little ships just darting absolutely everywhere, like water taxis. So you can move your own ship, you can go back. I mean, this will have been a couple of hours in the making, you know, having to go around, get all this information. You're going to have to sober up at some point, I should have thought. So
I'm thinking some food and sobering up, especially for Balbo, may not be the worst thing. I imagine like Balbo like bouncing off carts and walls behind us. Like every 6-7 step is kind of like crash.
Yeah, like water bend, like forcefully water bending water into Balbo's mouth. Like you will drink this. This is no longer a choice.
Are you waterboarding the lizard? What are you? Oh, okay, just okay. All right.
Grab some coffee beans as well, like.
Some hot brown morning potion, please. I need that.
So finding an inn or something like that and sobering up.
You could, I mean, you've got your ship. You could sleep. I suspect you could sleep on your boat. It's going to have enough. You know, you don't need to worry about.
Yeah, you guys are in no shape to be negotiating right now. Let's just, we'll get on the boat. We'll go towards, what was it, Payahala? So. That sounds good. Okay.
I definitely give like Hanu one of those. I'm fine, but when I do it, I like look like to her left at first, and I'm like, I'm fine. It was one of those. Like, I'm all right. It's cool. Got this under control. Well, imagine like I got this under control as like also like a little flame comes out and like shoots me in the face. I'm like, damn it! It's fine. It's fine. It's fine.
Mark a condition.
That's funny. Troubled.
So, if you don't mind me asking, I mean, I'm sure this was part of your explanation, so we can consider this part of your explanation to Hanu. Why did you guys choose that Payahala was the boat you wanted to go to?
The Pyre Howler.
Yeah.
Because that's where the new captain is. They're taking on the Fire Nation. Okay. Like they're not like scared at all. Again, I was gonna say, Eric said, you know, whether they're the ones who were hired out to do it or whether, you know, they're the ones who are, you know, doing it or whatever, like seems like a good place to start.
Okay.
Well, I also think there's an opportunity for us to keep like poking around a little bit. And this is kind of been tossed in, I guess we're walking back. So I think there's an opportunity because it sounds like Captain Ninka definitely, I don't know anyone else could pull this off.
Mm.
You know, when you're talking about taking this kind of stuff from the Fire Nation, I mean, as much as I appreciate the captain for the dancing nobleman fleet, you're not taking it on. And as impressive as the Burning Wave looks, when they're kind of up against Fire Nation ships, that's not going to cut it. So I'm willing to bet like Nika's, I think, the only person that's got the resources to do it. At the same time, I don't know if they have the resources to process on their own. So I'm wondering if there's a way we can backdoor into this through people who don't care as much because they're just hired, then there's no loyalty. The loyalty is a paycheck. And we may be able to get in that way easier than people who are on Ninka's crew and who are loyal to Ninka. People who are just loyal to the cash may be an easier bet.
Cool.
So maybe Burning Wave, the crew on the Burning Wave is helping them move it because, if they're more merchants than pirates, right? Trying to get this out, these funds more legitimate into the system, trading them, getting goods, maybe going through them. I mean, this ends up being a con.
Okay, sounds good.
And if there's anybody in this game who knows things about cons,
it's been. So, are we going to head to the Burning Wave, or do we want to go straight to the Pirate Howler?
Well, I think we should take a minor respite, obviously, back to the boat to sober up, get some food. From there, I mean, I don't know if we want to check from Bin's perspective. Like Bin's looking, okay, Burning Wave is an opportunity because it's people who like to chat.
We didn't decide to go to this boat. Okay. All right.
No. Like I'm saying that, like we can go. I would say either Burning Wave or Dancing Nobleman Fleet, because the Burning Wave is people there are going to want to talk because they're merchants and they want to trade.
But also, don't forget, Bin is.
Knows
exactly how, but the captain of the
and we've already run into that captain. But the Dancing Nobleman Fleet positively is a fleet, isn't a ship. So we just have, if we avoid the captain's ship and one of the I just kind of go to one of the other random boats to see if they're doing work. Are they doing work for Captain Ninka?
Okay.
And it may be because the Dancing Nobleman Fleet is a bigger fleet. It's also not amazingly well organized. So there's a lot of opportunity there. I think those are our two best bets. I would rather avoid the Renegade Hawk or Renegade Phoenix at all costs because those people scare the crap out of me.
Okay.
If I can avoid getting into a fight, I'm really okay with that.
So Heejing, as the two relatively sober people in the group, what do we think?
I think that's a good plan, honestly. Like, don't go straight for the...
There's a crash from outside where Balbo just falls over.
There it is.
Oh, he's okay. Don't worry. Fine. As long as he didn't fall overboard, did he? Okay, now he's still on board. All right, so...
oh no, we've missed a trick. We should have had you run to the boat on your drunk mongoose lizard. Oh,
don't worry.
I didn't even mention when we were talking about how to get to other boats. I'm like, Heejin could just ride the mongoose lizard. I'm like, I'm not going to say it. I'm not going to say it.
Come on. Oh, you're going to have to do something. What's your?
I have to. What does it say? Yip yip is my move.
No, it's too late. We've missed it now.
Darn. So I think not going for the most aggressive, probably like you said, organized part is probably a better idea. Go for, like you said, the people who are going to be the mercenaries that get paid.
Yeah, less loyalty.
Yeah, I think that's a good idea, actually.
Okay. Let's do it. But we are getting on our ship first. And y'all are going to get it together. And this will all be a lesson that you will not take away.
Exactly.
I don't remember the boat moving this much. Oh.
Just remember, Ben, you deserve this. You too, Balbo.
as Ben and Balbo are again seen, like Ben and Balbo just both on the sides of the ship
hanging
as it's rocking, going, hanging over the sides.
The fish are getting a warm snack.
Coming out of
Balbo's it's just flat beer and ice cream.
Yum. Cheers for that. So yeah, so what are you doing? What's the
Morning comes.
Morning has broken like the first morning. A few headaches potentially. The mongoose lizard looking a bit worse for wear, but you know, it's a lizard. Lizards have good metabolism, don't they?
Yeah, I'll be fine.
Yeah. The activity never really ceased. You know, there was lots of music all night, lots of bangs and crashes and chunks of rock being thrown through the air, ice, the odd fire just blasting. You know, as basically at any one time, half the island seems to be fighting the other half, and then moving to the next bar and then doing exactly what you guys did, except at a more understandable hour. And by the time you wake up, you know, it's just a new day and pirates got a pirate. So yeah, you wake up.
So we're heading to your guy, right? Like the guy that you know.
Well, I would assume that if we try to chat with now, I don't know Captain Mosai. I've worked with him. He knows what I look like, which I don't know if that's going to play in our favor or not.
Good or not, yeah.
You know, knowing that there's a bunch of boats in the nobleman fleet, you know, maybe picking one of the straggler boats, one of the outliers, something that's not towards the core, that may be in our favor. Because again, we're trying to get information out of people who don't care.
Yeah. Or might have heard something in passing, or you know,
or know somebody further in that they're willing to, you know, spill beans. That's my thought. Whether we want to chat, I don't know if we want to.
Yeah, it sounds like a plan.
I'm open to suggestion. That's kind of where my head goes. I can't go. Like the two of you can definitely go in a little bit. You know, if I'm just concerned if Captain Mosai sees me, it's gonna. Right on the way in, like, you know, him flagging us down I was a little concerned about that. So
yeah, because when you were first noticed, it wasn't like a positive or negative identifier. It was just kind of like, oh, we know each other kind of thing. So
yeah, you know, like, you know, land pirate to water pirate. You know, it was one of those kinds of things.
Okay. So you want us to kind of go to one of the more scraggly ships?
That's what I'm thinking. Like, I mean, if we're just trying to avoid anybody who seems too connected to Captain Mosai or any of his, you know, his immediate crew. That's my thought, because I'm thinking those people will be a little bit more amenable to what's going on. I don't know how we want to ask. I mean, we don't want to be like, hey, so we heard there's a whole bunch of money stolen from the Fire Nation. What do you know?
Which is what you know Zing would do. So you probably want to take the lead. I feel like I should just be the enforcer.
Yeah, it's weird, Charlene, because I cannot quite reconcile the image of you playing this drunk mongoose lizard and the ultra just serious hardcore. There's a bit of incongruity here.
That's why I'm glad. That's why I'm glad I have the mongoose lizard. So Charlene can come out in the mongoose lizard, and then I'll try and play the other guy the way he's supposed to be played.
So, from the sounds of it, you're going to the fleet.
Yeah, the nobleman's fleet, dancing nobleman fleet. And again, and trying to avoid any boat that looks more important. Like, not getting like the most raggedy rowboat in the group, but looking for something that may have somebody of importance, but nobody who's going to recognize Bin is the kind of the goal. Like any boats that he may recognize, I'm going to avoid those.
and to do. So you found sugar. You found a boat. I know how to keep things in my hands. You found a boat. You're gonna sunbathe or?
Yes.
No. Ahoy!
Ahoy there, matey.
Well, the first boat you come up alongside, you hail them, and then you realize that there's this massive battle going on. It's nothing. Just
turn
a bunch
around,
of people.
boys.
Just turn around and move on to the next one.
Not
I'm like,
getting
but
here.
I was gonna watch, but we're not. All right.
Connor's just like water bending the ship, like unnaturally. Just
I didn't even think about that. Like, we're navigating this really nicely because we got a waterbender who's like, no, we're going this way, folks.
We are over here. Thank you.
Yeah.
Moving on.
We're moving. We're stopping.
But yeah, so you're having a look around. What is it you want to do? What are you actually looking for?
I mean, and part of it, like when we're looking around, I'm just kind of like, I mean, obviously there are crews that are hanging out and doing nothing. There are crews that are fighting and killing time. Like what are crews that look like they've either like recently been on the move? Like, I mean, some of the boats I'm sure have, some of the ships probably haven't moved or are anchored and deep into groups versus ships that are sailed or have partial sail. So like looking for those markers of like boats that have been in motion. And trying to pick out one of those. So like it's a crew that looks like they've been recently, like the boat has some indication of recent movement or engagement.
Good idea.
Okay. I was about to say, well, that'd be difficult because they will all have been. I get the feeling this kind of place is just constantly in motion. But yeah, just for the purposes of the fiction, yeah, okay, absolutely. You find one place and do it. And
I mean, we're going to pull up as close as we can to them and just kind of, when we get up, and I'm assuming we're going to be noticed as we're broadsiding somebody.
Oh yeah, that if you want to do anything subtly, it's only because you're blending in with the crowd of everybody else doing stuff. You will not get away unseen in a place like this.
Especially with my mongoose-lizard standing on the edge.
With your mongoose-lizards.
Like instead of a mermaid at the front of our boat, we've got a mongoose-lizard.
Yes.
Yeah, that's the figurehead, isn't it? Yeah,
it's literally what I'm imagining. Like the mongoose-lizard like hanging over the front, like the dog hanging out a window in a car.
Exactly.
I'm flying, Jack.
Do you trust me? You
draw me like your French mongoose-lizards. Sorry.
I'll never let go. Let's go.
Sorry, guys. I don't know if I can do this anymore. It's
So Ben, do you wanna? I feel like as we're pulling up, I kind of look at Ben of like, do you want to like kind of take the you seem to speak with these people better than we do. Do you want to try to take the lead on this one?
Yeah, I just figured we'll strike up a chat.
You feel okay enough not yickety yak on their deck?
I don't know if there's anything else. I don't think there's anything else to yickety yak anymore. I think we cleaned out. I think we're good.
All right. I trust you. You got this.
Yeah, and pulling up, as we broadside one of the other boats. I'm assuming someone's coming to the edge.
Yep.
And
the Dancing Nobleman fleet is just a bunch of ragtag people. They're relatively amicable. If you want to come on, they just assume you're there to do business, and
come alongside and whoever their boat rep that comes out to meet me, kind of thing, as we come alongside. And just kind of go, hey, hey, mate, we're looking for, trying to figure out some work around here. It looks like you guys have been active lately.
Well, you're actually greeted by a young, jittery sort of, like, just very, very ADHD kind of, like, oh yeah, just bouncing, just really excitable. And you go, yeah, come on, and just invites you on, just starts talking your ear off about absolutely nothing. And then you ask him a question, and he's just like, yeah, what? And just walks off, just carries on doing it. And there are other people around who just kind of look at you and smile, say, oh yeah, it's happening to you now, guys. Hey, as long as if he's talking to you, he's not talking to us, so you stay over there. Yeah, so what can I do for you? Oh, where is it? What did I put it? Where is it? I left it over here somewhere. Where is it?
Wait. Oh, we're looking for some stuff. It looks like you're looking for something too, mate. Like, what are you looking for? What do you got going on?
Yeah, well, no, come and have a look at this. And he leads you into his cabin, and there's just lots of random junk just lying around that basically, Professor Frink, if you think of him from The Simpsons, stop with the clapping, you'll kill us all. He's just got just half finished gizmos and.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah, and he goes, oh, you see this? You don't need to be a firebender, and just a flame just shoots out.
Good to have on a ship.
Yeah. Okay. Now, when he's walking into a cabin, are we walking to like one of the cabins of prominence? Or are we kind of like going?
Well, because this is just a small.
It's a smaller boat, but
it's
still
a smaller boat. So it's basically It only has a crew of, a handful. So it's more like a small family boat than anything else. And this guy is clearly enthusiastic about his own things, but is as much a part of the fleet as anybody else. And the other crew members are like, okay, just fine. You keep him yourself. I'm eating, kind of thing.
As he's like showing off some of his cool stuff, I'm like, wow, that's great. That's handy. If you can't like, that bid definitely gives a quick fire gun. But just kind of give it a glance, like anything that's screaming either, something that's not buried in the back, something that's up front that looks Fire Nation-y, as he's like going through, I'm kind of like going through with him, but also kind of glance and looking. And anything that looks a little bit more newly acquired.
Newly acquired, no.
Anything that looks standing out. Nothing.
No, nothing brand new. There is some Fire Nation stuff there, but only in as much as we've all got the junk from different nations.
All the trinkets that are left over from a century-long war.
Yeah, exactly. Nothing that would meet the description that Zuko gave you. And
as he's going, I'm like, oh man, this is a lot of great stuff. Like, you guys must get around, must do a lot of work. How else would you pick up the stuff? This is great. We just got into the island here, and we're looking for some work. I understand that Captain Nika's been out there like getting some stuff done and moving things. I didn't know if you guys been like working with her, working with other people. I know Mosai gets into a lot of action here and there, but what's been keeping you guys busy?
When you mention Ninka, he kind of slows down slightly. He goes a bit more serious. It's like, yeah, she's brought a lot of changes.
Doesn't like it. And
kind of moves on to the next thing to kind of not have to talk about it anymore. Oh, see what this. I'm really proud of this. It's a water filtration system, and then he pours some seawater into it and pumps it, and something clear comes out the other end. I was like, you want it? It's only lukewarm, but everything is around here. Want it? And no, and they just kind of gloves it down and spills half of it down his cheek, but yes, he's not.
Well, that's like I tossed out Captain Nika, but really quickly would bounce back to Captain Mosai. Like I know he's been, keeps you guys busy and keeps you guys, in and out of port, right? I mean, what kind of work you guys been doing? Where have you been finding jobs?
Oh, Mosai, then he goes back to being all happy and nerdy again. Mosai's really, he's such a good bloke. He and his family, he and what's the guy's name? He and Sayako and Lily, they're so lovely. You should see them together. They're a great family. We should all try and be like that. But yeah, he wasn't happy when Kangana got kicked out. He's not. But no, yeah, we've got plenty of work. I mean, we're pirates. If you want to go out there, and he just kind of points just vaguely. Look, there's a ship over there. We could go and get it now if you want. Just points just at this silhouette, miles in the distance. And yeah, there's always new stuff coming in. I got this last week, and he just pulls out, I don't know what do pirates have lying around.
Some arbitrary thing that everyone else thinks is a piece of junk, and this guy is like, this is shiny and amazing.
I was thinking of a really leaky bucket.
What?
So
that is clearly it's actually got water pouring out the bottom of it. Yeah.
So I would say as Hanu's watching this interaction, can I use one of my moves, which is Suspicious Mind?
Yeah.
Basically, just for this one, I guess we can kind of narrate what we're doing. For this one, I'm going to be rolling 2 dice. Any range between a 7 and a 9, I get to ask 1 question, and the person would have to answer it honestly. If I roll between a 10 or higher, I get to ask 2 questions from this list, and they have to be answered honestly. Is that okay?
Yeah, absolutely.
All right, excellent. I'm going to give that a try. And I rolled a 7, which is okay because I still get to ask 1 question. So I would be maybe after, not in a rude way, but in a Hanu way of just being abrupt and blunt. After, Ben has his questions and this guy's answering, I think I would just cut in and kind of just ask, what are you worried about? Obviously getting at the fact that he's avoiding interaction. So what are you worried about? Like, what's going on with this?
And he kind of looks over his shoulder, even though the only thing behind him is the deck of the ship. And there are only a couple of other people on the boat anyway. So, well, Ninka and Captain Mosai, they don't get on. Mosai and Kangana, they were good friends. They understood each other. Kangana had the best interests of the Crimson Sails at heart. Ninka, she's got her own issues. She's got something against the Fire Nation. She hates the Fire Nation. A lot of people here hate the Fire Nation, but she's letting that overpower her senses. And Mosai and a lot of us in the fleet, we just want things back the way they were. And
so why did that worry you, though?
Well, if she finds out that people are trying to what's the word? I'm going to say get rid of, but simply because I can't, just to redeploy her, well, she'll come down hard on anybody. And I like my face being where it is. Thanks.
She's a face stealer.
No.
No.
Get here.
So she's scary a little bit, and like you don't want to hear about. Well, you don't want her hearing about possible not good vibes.
Yeah,
guys. Okay.
She runs the place with an iron fist, and dissenters don't end up in happy places. Anyway, look at this. And he pulls up.
It's funny you say iron fist. We met this guy who wants a bar with an iron claw. I mean, they've got to know each other, right?
Oh, yeah, I made that claw. It's great, isn't it? It only falls off twice a day. It's all.
I appreciated
I've got
your
another one
hand.
here. And he just picks it up, and it is
Hand.
literally just a piece of. Yeah.
Thank you guys for laughing. I appreciate it.
And
Ben definitely kind of gives like Hanu a look, like move off. I'm gonna back. And like I'm definitely like Ben definitely starts engaging with the guy, like, oh yeah, like arm over the shoulder, turning the guy away from Hanu so she can get out.
He acts like
like-
I'm dumb, and I found out more than he has in about 5 minutes. Just saying.
And just like oh yeah, like I go, what's this thing? And I'm just asking him like about all these other things. And I'm like, hey, yeah, this is some great stuff, but like, hey, we gotta make sure that we gotta like find some work for us to make sure we can keep the boat supplied. So hey, you're doing an awesome job. Like I'm glad to hear that you're so loyal to Captain Mosai. Like keep up, and man, this is some awesome stuff you got here. And Ben just like bounces quick back over to the boat.
He probably doesn't even realize you've gone. He's just carries on talking about the next invention that he's got.
I look at Hanu and like, that guy was never gonna shut up. All right. So evidently he's scared to death of Captain Ninka.
But we just found out that Captain Mosai is an ally of the old pirate queen and is trying to possibly bring her back. And a way to do that would be to recover the treasure and hand it back to.
Yeah.
So
Maybe going to Mosai would be helpful. Sorry, Ben. I know you're not so comfy with that.
It can't. I mean, it's hard to con somebody when they know who you are.
Oh, this may not be a con.
It's not. We're helping. I mean, in some ways, you're helping. So
I don't understand what you mean.
We might have to play it straight this time, like I would,
and like Hanu would.
I'm sorry, I'm not following you. I'm not.
Not this fluffy crap you've been doing. Well appreciated, Ben. You did a great job.
It works out pretty well. I don't know. It's
yeah. No, but I think we should go straight to Mosai.
Yeah.
Sounds like we can hint at talking to this kid. Talking about that kid and being like, what's his deal?
I'm just putting it out there that if we're trying to play it straight and we're chatting with Mosai, I can chat with him, but
is there anything else you'd like to share about your relationship with Mosai?
I feel like there's more to it than that.
I'm gonna roll for a suspicious mind, and I'm just kidding.
Are you Jedi mind tricking me? I'm just gonna say that I mean,
you were looking for.
Been just like I mean, stole some boats, sold some boats. We had a good thing going, but I don't know how much don't know how much she's going to trust me, or don't know how much I can play it straight.
Mm-hmm. But if you didn't do anything bad to him, he wouldn't have any beef.
Let's hope so.
Yeah, I was going to say we'll just have to see when we get there.
There we go.
I think the boats in the gear I got him were good.
Okay.
Once you get the money, you don't stick around.
Boy. All right. So we're going to Mosai. Do we know where he is? Is it the specific ship? Can we ask for directions?
People would know. They'd point it out, and you'd be
okay.
Well, and he flagged us down the way in, so I don't know if he'd be if that was assuming his boat on the way in, his ship.
Okay.
Oh yeah, of course. Yeah, you'd have seen it, wouldn't you?
All right. So Hanu zooms y'all over here, and boom. Can we just assume we're there?
Boats are small, ships are big.
I realised what time it is, and I didn't get my meds before we started. So if you can give me 30 seconds, I shall be right back. Again, I'm organised. I know what I'm doing.
Yeah, Charlotte, I would agree. This is definitely a shift from D&D brain, where you're.
Yeah,
It's all checks all the time.
Yeah.
I
Like,
want to stand up. Give me a dex check. Okay.
yeah. I want to insight. I need to insight this person.
Mhm.
But yeah, I don't know if y'all saw it, but I probably need to head out to 2:30.
Yeah.
Okay.
Dan, you hear that?
Do we have time to do the an interaction with Mosai, or should we pick up next time on the interaction with Mosai? What's your schedule?
I don't know if we want to talk about the therapeutic value first.
So I heard somebody needing to be out to 2:30. What time is it now?
It is 1:57.
Okay, well in that case, yeah, rather than
Should we wrap up?
kick off, yeah, let's just talk about stuff and blah and therapy. And I'm conscious that we've done no fighting here, considering that this is supposed to, we were talking about doing nothing. We were going to start off with elite bending, not elite bending, pro bending.
Mm-hmm.
But it's
Good diplomacy.
Is that what is? Oh, is that what this is?
It's pirate diplomacy.
If there were ever three characters I would not choose for diplomacy, I mean, Zuko was he must have been in. You either caught him on a really good day or he just didn't see you.
Well, see, this is the dangers with hiring people just based off resume without a good interview.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Like, on paper, man, we shine.
But this one hopefully was a bit more player-led than last time. So if we're going to look at this in terms of using it with clients, what do we think? And I'm again, what the other thing that I haven't been on top of really you.
Yeah, Emily definitely froze. I don't know.
Yeah, I know. We're moving past it. We're moving
green.
No, you've gone all green. So you want to tell us about the environment.
There we go.
And we haven't done any of the balance moves either. Again, yeah. Well, again, we can focus on that next time. But
I think we're doing pretty good. We're getting a hang of it.
Yeah.
And then add in those moves.
Yeah, I think always learning mechanics for a new system is always rough. Like, how does it flow? Where do you drop things? What's RP versus what's a check?
Mm-hmm.
And that's actually the point I was going to make in terms of this is very much not I roll insights. It's a case of I want. What was it? I saw a really good description of PBTA a little while ago, where it's like, well, I want to achieve this, so the player and the GM have a conversation. Then you decide what move. Then you roll. Then you decide what the move achieves. And then you move on. So I mean, yeah. How is that for you guys?
And now, I mean, I'll start off from the therapeutic dork standpoint. I think one of the benefits of the PBTA format is that because it's less scripted and less defined than something like a D20 game, it would require anybody playing to make more intentional decisions, plan things out instead of allowing arbitrary decisions to occur. Because of the high level of RP, you're describing, you're taking ownership of the situation, of the environment, of the character, of the actions, instead of just leaving so much up to the dice. So I think from a therapeutic stance, it's really helping someone flex that muscle of taking responsibility and taking initiative.
Yeah, no, I agree. You could definitely, so like with D&D, when I try and get my players to like build their characters, right? Like I really focus on the backstory because that's where a lot of the work happens. But I feel like in this, because it's player led, like you can definitely add a little bit more work thinking about goals, thinking about, what we should be working on and things like that, they can incorporate it into the story themselves instead of me, the DM, being the only one that's incorporating this type of stuff. They can create their own opportunities. They do in D&D, but this seems like it would be a little bit more because, like you said, it's their ownership over the story.
And it gives them, I mean, working one-to-one, something like this is fantastic for just letting the client's imagination run riot and just let them have the world. I mean, if I were to pick up this exact same scenario with two different clients, it would be, one island. One would be, a massive island with nothing but, fights and fire pits. Another would be a peaceful paradise where everybody's stoned off their faces and it goes, like the secret tunnel, secret tunnel, secret. And the goal would kind of probably fade. Some clients would just like, no, I find it straight away and move, and moving on. Whereas others, they would just build a house, and then 2 years later, oh yeah, I was supposed to find something, wasn't I? Yeah.
That is kind of fun though. Like, if you think about different play styles, what people are interested in, like as a DM, you're like, okay, should I do puzzles here? Should I do, a trap here? Should I do, whereas if the players are leading it, then, they're going to put in what they want. So if they want to build a farm, they can, and they want to fight everybody, they can, gives it a little bit more freedom.
And I think it'd be cool as just like being the GM / like therapist in this thing. It'd be paying very close attention to how your clients decided to interact, say, in this environment, right? Like we had this massive lizard come in, knock everything down, and then ooh, ice cream, and then boom, right out, and it's like barkeep, right? So we could potentially, I'm not saying this is going to happen, but potentially we might enter this bar again, and a client could maybe forget, like, oh yeah, we had been to this bar before. But then this is when the therapist comes in and goes, hey, remember last time you guys were here? This is what happened. Like, what might this environment be like now when people see you? And then have them build off of that. Like, are they aware of the consequences of their actions? Like, what do they perceive to be the consequences of the world that they created? Which is kind of cool.
There's a sign now outside that says no mongoose lizards.
Actually, there's a sign under the old sign that said mongoose lizards. This is seriously, no mongoose lizards.
And how like and I don't know if this is in Daniel, I don't know if you've seen these before, but sometimes where we live, there's like road signs that'll tell you if there's going to be deer or something in the road.
Oh yeah.
Like a tally on it for each dead deer that there's been. And someone put a tally for that one mongoose lizard, just one line.
Well, but the free RP in this kind of system also, I mean, it can be, I can imagine, be very telling with a client, but also can be, I think as the therapist GM, I think we'd have to, like most things that we do, we're going to have to, be very attentive to how much lead we give the client gamer, because are they able to develop that rich of a storyline? How are they working their socialization, their interactions? And again, I mean, this becomes very much a model for us to understand. I mean, talking about the beautiful use of creative therapy and opportunities to understand all the unsaid and alternatively communicated concepts from a client. What is the world they're developing? What are the kind of interactions? Do they even consider how to have different interactions with different people?
Yeah, that's what I was just going off of what you're saying. Like, if you put somebody who's socially anxious into this tavern, and now they have to figure out who to talk to, whether they want to talk to anybody, who's there, all of those different kind of things. Like, you're definitely going to get a feel for, what that person's comfortable with versus not comfortable with in a social situation like that. Right.
Mm-hmm.
And maybe that's something that they're trying to work on, is being able to go into situations like that, with their friends out and about or whatever. And then, helping coach them through, okay, well, what do you want to do first? And if they don't know, then be like, okay, well, you have this person, this section, there's people playing cards over here. There's, give them, a few options so that they can go, oh, okay, like, all right, I'll pick one of those and interact with the world in that way.
Yeah. And even just from the perspective of maybe not someone socially anxious, but someone who's just new to RPGs in general. Mm-hmm. I don't know if you guys noticed, but I let the two of you
I know, I always
create that bar scene. Yeah. I didn't say a word because I'm like, I think maybe they know better of what to create here. And so I let you two do that. And then I was like, okay, so how do I fit into what they created? Right. And that can be very telling from a clinical perspective too, of like, does this client have pushback of what they just created in their own game and things like that. So it's helpful regardless. And I like Charlene's point of like, be prepared in case someone maybe is hesitant to create a world, especially at the beginning. Because I know, at least for myself, I probably maybe would have needed like a little bit of guidance, and then of course I would have run with it. But a little bit of guidance could have been helpful, and that's why I was lucky to have both Eric and Charlene here who know what they're doing. So I was like, you guys go create the bar.
Don't ever accuse them of that. Seriously, come on.
In my mind, I was picturing the bar from Tangled, where there's all those like renegades and everything in there, and then like the girl walks in, and it's like, I have a dream.
Because in this kind of game is actually very good for it. But what I would do with clients in social situations more so than combat would be, well, okay, so you meet this character and so you tell me who the barkeep is. What does this person look like? How many hands does he have? How creepy is he? Which way are both of his eyes looking? And and that kind of gives them impetus to interact with them a bit more.
Well, and just bouncing that, I'm imagining as you're like going through like giving those things, I can imagine like most of us, even just like Emily just said, right, we're pulling from our history to make sense of this. And from a clinical standpoint, who is that client drawing in from their life to fill in that role?
A few years ago, we're still within a few years ago, I had a client who created an orc, a green-skinned, almost orc, but far too civilized to be the classical orc thing. Innkeeper who was basically just gave tea, and it was the most wholesome, adorable character ever. And actually recently there was a book that came out about an orc who opens a coffee shop, and I looked at this but that NPC became kind of a staple of the games, because the client would constantly go back there just for that warm hug. And obviously we looked at it, what is it about this character that you like so much, and why, and where does she come from? And it turns out you had that relationship taken away, and etc. And I don't know where I was going with that, but
that's a good example.
But I was going to say, even with with character creation, I think Daniel, when he dropped in the details of that little ship captain, right? The kind of inattentive, sporadic character that then definitely had that very visceral reaction. I mean, in those, I think I think that highlighted a great opportunity for us as therapists, like how do we drop in these other aspects and maybe even other aspects that are similar to the client we're working with, and how are they responding to those ideas? Like, are they identifying with them, or are they?
Charlie and I both, our brains both went to exactly the same place at exactly the same time there. So
go for it.
Well, at least what I was going to say is I wanted to interact with them like as myself, like just be like, and I was like, whoa, wait a minute. You're not playing the mongoose-lizard. You're playing the serious guy. But I literally wanted to be like, oh, where'd you find out? What does that do? What does that do?
Yeah. Sorry, Eric, carry on. But I just saw Charlie and me. I was like, yeah, we both knew what you were thinking.
No, but again, I think that's a great opportunity for us to drop in therapeutically some character traits that we see within the client, and how are they interacting with them, not as aspects of self, but aspects that are they amenable to this, or do they find this shameful, repulsive? You know, what is their emotional content in relation to this character that possibly reflects part of them?
Yeah.
Do you guys ever do character work with people's characters, of like maybe, okay, after a session's done, kind of having like almost a debrief of like, what was it like for your character doing that, like, and having kind of a Q&A like that? Or is that usually something you guys stay away from and let the client kind of think about on their own?
No, that's my favorite part. Just to interrupt what Charlie does. I love doing that. It's like because you've got the two different. You've got three reactions. You know, how does the character respond? How do you respond? And how would you respond if you were in that situation? No, it's cool. I mean, you know, so a dragon flies over. How does your fighter respond? Well, he's probably excited because he's going to get to kill something. How would you be in that situation? I would be hiding before you even lit. You know.
Yeah, and that's why I'm so about the individual therapy after the group, you know, or having both. That's cool. Because that's exactly what we do. We go, okay, what did you do in group? What did you feel like you accomplished? What goals may you have worked on? You know, what was a cool part of the story? You know, and then we'll actually take whatever we reflect on in individual and then reapply it to group, you know, the next time. So it really is an important part. And I know some people they'll do the group and then they'll process for a half an hour, like after the group. Oh, cool. I don't have the attention span for that. So I have to do it later. But I also think that, you know, when you're an individual, it's easier to pull in real life stuff, you know, as an example too, because they're not going to be hesitant to bring that stuff in because it's just you and them. Whereas in the group, they may be hesitant to bring up certain topics and things like that because, you know, when you're playing a game like this, you're not like telling your entire like tragic backstory to everybody at the table. They might have a hint, you know, or whatever, but like you're not going to talk about all of your trauma. But when you go and you sit down with your therapist one-on-one, that's a safe space to be able to do that. And if you don't have that time to kind of reflect, I feel like a lot of my clients before I did that just didn't make the connections. And so I'd have to make it for them. Whereas like if I'm, you know, talking with them one-on-one, they can make the connections. And of course, when a client can make a connection instead of you, it means, you know, 100% more. So
for sure. Then even just with follow-up questions in general, we haven't done this in the game yet. I don't know if we are going to touch on it at any point in the game, but there are those growth questions about the characters that I think are specific for each one of our characters, which is cool. So we can touch at that at a different time. I know we're at the end here, but they're pretty cool. Things to think about, you know, with like, who are you? Who is your character? How did you play?
Yeah, and it has to do with your balance.
Yeah, so there's so much I've forgotten to remember.
No,
I forgot to remember to forget.
Yeah, there's tons of stuff. And we're, like I said, we're learning. It's a new system. We're learning. So
I was going to say something deep and meaningful then.
I'll give you a second to remember it. I will have to make fun of us for a moment of the warped way a bunch of therapists ask questions in game versus what I'm assuming a bunch of average individuals at. Like, we do not ask. We've lost the ability to ask questions in a more typical sense. Like, it's not a thing for us anymore.
Yeah, thanks for that.
And we include therapeutic theories in our jokes, like the miracle question.
The magic hook.
And on that note, shall we call it a day? I know people have got to make move, unless anybody's got anything pressing to add. Well, as usual, guys, do you want to go around and tell everybody where you can be found? Go opposite direction. Charlene, do you want to tell us who you are, where you are, why you are, etc.?
Why I can't answer, but the who I can. I'm Charlene McPherson. I'm an LCSWC. You can find me at Nat20Therapy, www.nat20therapy, at Nat20Therapy, all over the place. I do individual and D&D therapeutic groups for teens and adults. And when I say adults, I mean age 30 plus adults. So don't count yourself out. That's it.
I'm not an adult. Okay.
I'm saying nothing. Sorry. who was upset about being ID'd?
Whoa. Whoa. Breaks, brother.
Emily, how about yourself?
Hello, I am Emily. I am a therapist up in, you could say, I guess, Northeast Pennsylvania / like geography, man, whatever. Outside of Philly, I guess you could say, is a better way to put it. Just for context, out in Allentown, I guess. And I'm working in a community mental health center. I see a variety of clients. The youngest I've ever had was like 4. The oldest I've ever had has been in their 70s. So I see them all. It keeps me on my toes. Absolutely love it. And yeah, I don't have any like fancy social medias for you guys to follow yet, but maybe that's a work in progress. We'll see. But I'm new to the whole RPG stuff, and this has just been really cool to have like 2 worlds kind of come together and create something pretty awesome.
So you heard it here first, guys. Emily's going to have a YouTube channel soon.
Don't give me that kind of power. Don't stroke my ego like that.
Hey, if you do it, you'll start realizing how much work is involved. You will not appreciate your ego.
Yeah.
It'll be called Tea Time with Hanu. Her real thoughts of what's going on. Like a side interview. I couldn't freaking believe that.
Commentary on our game.
Ben did what again?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Don't get me started. Yeah. Coming soon, guys.
And to round out the Rogues Gallery today, I'm Eric Drosnock. I am also in Northeast PA, Greater Lehigh Valley area with Emily. Work community mental health. Work, the glory of community mental health. Right? We work with whomever walks in the door with whatever they're presenting with. That's what we do. Mm-hmm. Keeps it interesting. Keeps us on our toes. Like Emily, I am still a work in progress. I'm figuring it out. And hopefully, as we continue on, maybe you'll see that name tag get a little bit longer. We'll see how it goes. In the meantime, I'm just kind of making it up as I roll. Pun intended.
See, I didn't even spot that. You said that, and I would have just completely gone with it. Oh, God.
Yeah.
I would have rolled with it.
That is.
And on that appalling note, I'm so sorry, internet. You're not ready for us, really, are you? Well, I think you know where to find me, so I won't say that. But thank you for joining me, everybody, as usual. It was a lot of fun, a lot of pirate antics. Not enough fighting, but we'll get there.
We'll get there.
I'll start a fight.
We know.
Yeah.
and by I, Charlene means Bobo the mongoose lizard.
Yeah.
Of course.
Yes.
So until next time, take it easy. Don't do anything I wouldn't do, and have a good one. Cheers.
Hanu out.
God help us.